hello. It is so good to see you. I'm happy to be with you here today because you have some big news that you wanted to share.
Yes, I do, Aaron. It's great to be with you. After years of working on this project, I've finally gotten it done. I finally published my very first book. It's called The Retirement No One Prepared You For. And I'm relieved it's done, and I'm glad it's out there for people to be able to interact with.
Yeah, always a labor of love. What motivated you to write the book?
So the project started out, I think, several years back. I think during COVID, everyone had a little bit more downtime. And so I
Mm,
started reflecting back on some of the client, experiences and stories that I've kind of collected over the years, and then basically just added on to it slowly over time. So fast forward 6 years and it's done. There it
that's great.
is.
And I know, again, retirement planning, speaking with many couples, as you mentioned, for many years, what topics come up over and over again, and what can people find in your book?
Yeah, and that's why I think my book's a little bit unique from that standpoint, is that I didn't want to overwhelm anybody with a bunch of charts or statistics and numbers, which I think it's really hard to relate to that and really
Yeah.
digest it all as you're reading a book in text or an audio book or something like that. So what I focused on really was just the story side, and a lot of it is coming from the emotional side of financial planning, and then kind of that advisor client relationship, like a true boots on the ground experience from what people experience when they're going through these things. And I mean, all the questions are very relatable, right? Am I going to have enough to retire? Am I going to
Mhm.
be able to retire successfully? Market risk, what is that going to do to my portfolio? I touch on Medicare planning, estate planning, and then tax planning in detail. So I do that not just in a summary format. It really is, I try to put a client story in
Yeah.
every one of those examples. So that's the interesting part. So my goal is that you get through the book, it's a quick read, and you can find yourself maybe sympathizing or empathizing with one of those client examples and start to see, okay, I can see how, Kyle was able to help these people.
Right now, of course, we learn best through stories. And you mentioned that there are a couple ways that people can either kind of test drive or buy your book. How do we find it?
Yep. So ideally, you could go to my website and you can get that first chapter for free. That's firstcoastfinancialgroup.com. And you can download that first chapter for free and just get started with it. A big story that I've got in that first chapter is about a client of mine, Phil, as I label him in the book. He had his whole life savings in one stock, and it was Boeing stock. And I met him.
No. Oh
Thank
my.
goodness I met him when I did. I met him in about 2018, 2017. And this was right before COVID. And I told him, hey, you're really running a huge risk. And there was some back and forth, with, hey, this is a big time stock. I'm comfortable with it. But I'm glad that he took my advice at that time and, let us build a full plan that included a diversified portfolio,
Mhm.
because, Boeing stock famously got clobbered during that COVID era, and it would have unwound his retirement immediately. So it's a great kickoff. I think it's engaging. And then from there, you can buy the rest of that book on Amazon.
All right. And tell me the title one more time.
It's called The Retirement No One Prepared You For.
By Kyle Boston, CFP. You are a
Yeah,
published author. How cool is that?
I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. What an amazing accomplishment, Kyle. I'm very proud of you. I think that this is really valuable. I have always found that you have a very uncanny way for explaining complex topics in a way that's easy for me and I think other people to understand. So again, congratulations on this huge accomplishment. And just to remind everybody, one more time on your website to get that first chapter.
Yep. And then Amazon to buy it. And the website's firstcoastfinancialgroup.com.
Wonderful. Again, Kyle, thank you and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Aaron.